Let me tell you something powerful. Fear and anxiety are not your enemies. They are not some force out there trying to hold you back. They are simply signals. Signals from your brain trying to protect you, trying to keep you safe. But here's the truth, they are not always accurate. They don't always serve you. What you must realize is that fear and anxiety are rooted in one thing: uncertainty. You don't know what's coming. You feel like you don't have control. And in that moment, your brain is telling you, prepare for danger. But I'm here to tell you, you can break that cycle in an instant. You can take control. You can face fear and anxiety with certainty, with strength, with power. There's one simple technique, one strategy that will shift your entire experience. And it starts with your body. Yes, your body. You see, when you're anxious or afraid, your body naturally contracts. Your posture slouches, your shoulders round, your breathing gets shallow. Your brain takes the cue something's wrong, and that reinforces the fear. But you have the power to change that. You have the ability to break that pattern right now just by changing your physical state. You can do this in an instant and the results will shock you. Start by taking a deep breath. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly. Feel how your body begins to relax with each breath. Now stand tall. Imagine you're a warrior, a person who's faced challenges and overcome them. Expand your chest, stand straight, open up. This simple act of changing your posture sends a clear message to your brain: I am in control. I am powerful. You can't feel anxiety in that position. It's impossible. But don't stop there. Close your eyes for a moment and reframe the thoughts that are running through your head. Instead of focusing on the what ifs, focus on what you can do right now. Visualize the best possible outcome. See yourself thriving, conquering whatever challenge you face. That focus, that shift replaces fear with a feeling of empowerment. And here's the thing, you must practice this. Consistency is key. The more you practice shifting your state, the more it becomes automatic. It will rewire your nervous system, and over time, fear will no longer control you. Anxiety will become just another emotion you can turn off when you choose to. You are stronger than you think. And in that moment when fear and anxiety try to take over, remember this: you are in control. Your body, your mind, your energy, you decide. Use this technique, take control. Step into your power. Fear and anxiety are universal experiences. Every single one of us, regardless of who we are or where we come from, will face these emotions at some point in our lives. Whether it's fear of failure, fear of rejection, or anxiety about the unknown, these feelings are part of being human. What's important to recognize is that they aren't inherently bad. They are simply a natural response to situations where we feel uncertain or threatened. Fear is deeply wired into our biology as a survival mechanism. Our ancestors relied on fear to stay alive, avoiding predators or dangerous situations. This primal response still lives within us, even in modern times, often triggered by situations that don't necessarily pose real danger, but instead represent uncertainty, change, or challenge. Anxiety often accompanies fear. It arises when we anticipate something in the future and our mind runs wild with possibilities. What if it doesn't work out? What if I fail? What if others judge me? These thoughts are all based on fear, on imagining what might happen rather than what is actually happening in the present moment. The problem with fear and anxiety is that they can paralyze us, keeping us stuck and preventing us from taking the actions we need to move forward. We begin to live in a state of worry and hesitation, focusing more on what we fear might happen than on what we can do to overcome it. Fear becomes a barrier, but it's one we can learn to navigate, control, and ultimately transform. The root cause of fear and anxiety often lies in uncertainty. Our minds crave predictability, structure, and control, and when we encounter situations that lack these, we feel vulnerable. This vulnerability triggers a cascade of fearful thoughts and emotions. When we don't know what will happen next, or when we can't foresee the outcome of an event, our brains automatically jump to worst-case scenarios. We start imagining all the ways things could go wrong, often exaggerating the potential threats, and our body responds by activating its fight or flight response, even when there is no immediate danger. This sense of uncertainty is magnified in situations where we feel we lack control. Whether it's a major life decision, a professional challenge, or a social encounter, the inability to influence the outcome can make us feel helpless and overwhelmed. The mind begins to spiral, questioning, what if I can't handle it, or what if I fail? This mental pattern creates anxiety, which can become paralyzing, leaving us stuck in a loop of doubt and fear. What we often fail to recognize is that much of the uncertainty we face is imagined. We may not have control over every circumstance, but we do have control over how we respond. By acknowledging that fear is a response to the unknown, we can begin to reframe our mindset. and take steps to regain control over the situation. Instead of fearing uncertainty, we can learn to embrace it as an opportunity for growth, knowing that we have the power to adapt, change, and find new ways to succeed. You have the power to control how you respond to fear and anxiety, and this is one of the most empowering realizations you can have. The truth is, fear and anxiety are not automatic reactions that happen to you. They are emotional responses that arise based on your perception of a situation. This perception, however, is not set in stone. It can be changed. The key to taking control lies in shifting your mindset. When you feel fear or anxiety rising, you have the ability to step back and examine what's happening in your mind. Are you imagining something negative that hasn't yet occurred? Are you focusing on things beyond your control? By becoming aware of these patterns, you can interrupt them and choose a new, empowering response. It's not always easy, of course. Fear often feels like an overwhelming force that we have no choice but to submit to. But the moment you realize that fear is a response and not a reality, you can start to break free. You can remind yourself that fear is a signal, not a command. It's your body's way of preparing you for potential challenges, but it doesn't have to dictate your actions. By learning to control your emotional response, you begin to take charge of the situation. You can choose to face challenges with confidence, to shift your focus to what you can do right now, and to recognize that fear does not define your actions. Every moment is an opportunity to exercise your power over how you react to fear and anxiety. The simple technique to overcome fear and anxiety quickly involves a powerful shift in your physical state. It may sound too easy, but it works because the body and mind are intricately connected. When you change how your body feels, you can influence how your mind perceives the situation. This is one of the most effective and immediate ways to break the cycle of fear and anxiety. When we experience fear or anxiety, our bodies automatically adopt a defensive, contracted posture. Our shoulders hunch, our chest tightens, and our breath becomes shallow. These physical changes signal to our brain that we're in danger, reinforcing the feeling of fear. But by consciously altering your body's state, you can disrupt this cycle. When you stand tall, open up your chest, and breathe deeply, you send a signal to your brain that you are in control, that you are confident, and that you are capable of handling the situation. The physical state of power is a direct contrast to the contracted state of fear. When you straighten your posture, expand your chest, and take slow, deliberate breaths, it's impossible for your body to remain in a state of panic. The body, in its expansive state, can't help but feel more empowered. You start to feel more grounded and less at the mercy of your fear. This shift in physicality doesn't just change how you feel in the moment, it also rewires your brain over time, helping you to respond more powerfully to fear in the future. Breathing deeply and consciously shifting your body can interrupt fear patterns by directly affecting the nervous system. When you are anxious or fearful, your body goes into a state of heightened alert, often referred to as the fight or flight response. This is a natural reaction meant to help you respond to danger, but in modern life, it's frequently triggered by non-life-threatening situations, leaving us in a state of stress. Deep breathing helps to counteract this automatic response by engaging the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms the body down and brings it back to a state of relaxation. When you take a slow, deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and then exhale slowly, you send a message to your brain that you're not in immediate danger. This simple act activates the body's relaxation response, lowering your heart rate and reducing the tension in your muscles. The deep breathing also helps to clear your mind as it shifts your focus away from your anxious thoughts and onto the rhythm of your breath. This process allows you to create space between your fear and your reaction, giving you the ability to respond from a place of calm instead of panic. By incorporating deep breathing into your routine, you start to build a new association between fear and calm. You train your body to shift gears when anxiety strikes. Over time, this practice helps you gain more control over your physiological response to stress, making it easier to face challenges without being overwhelmed by fear. Physical movement plays a crucial role in overcoming fear and anxiety because it directly influences how we feel emotionally. When you're feeling anxious or fearful, your body naturally adopts a defensive posture, shoulders rounded, chest tight, and muscles tense. These physical signs signal to your brain that something is wrong, which in turn reinforces the feelings of anxiety and fear. However, by consciously choosing to change your body language, you send a different signal to your brain, shifting the emotional state from fear to empowerment. One of the most effective ways to break the cycle of fear is to stand tall, expand your chest, and make yourself physically larger. This is a technique often used by confident, powerful individuals, and it works because it mimics the body language of strength and assurance. When you adopt an expansive posture, your brain interprets it as a sign of power and control. As a result, your emotions shift toward confidence and courage rather than fear and anxiety. Standing tall with your chest open and shoulders back doesn't just affect how others perceive you, it changes your own perception of yourself. You begin to feel more grounded and in control, as if you are ready to face whatever comes your way. Additionally, this physical shift encourages more open and relaxed breathing, which further helps to counteract anxiety. The more you practice this, the more you rewire your nervous system, creating a positive feedback loop that helps you feel more confident and less fearful in challenging situations. Reframing negative thoughts is a crucial step in overcoming fear and anxiety. Often fear is rooted in our thoughts about what might happen in the future, and these thoughts are frequently colored by pessimism or worst-case scenarios. When you find yourself feeling anxious, it's usually because your mind has started to focus on potential negative outcomes, imagining what could go wrong, rather than what could go right. The challenge here is not to ignore the fear, but to change the way you view the situation. Reframing allows you to challenge those negative thoughts by examining them more objectively. Instead of automatically assuming that a situation will lead to failure or disaster, you ask yourself, what evidence do I have that this will happen? Often when you break it down, you'll find that the fear is based on speculation, not fact. This realization helps you shift your mindset, giving you the ability to view the situation from a new perspective. A simple way to reframe your thoughts is by focusing on what you can learn from the situation. Instead of fearing failure, recognize it as an opportunity to grow. Instead of imagining rejection, focus on the possibility of connection and success. By changing the narrative in your mind, you take away the power that fear holds over you. This shift in thinking doesn't just make you feel better in the moment, it gradually builds your resilience, making you less prone to anxiety and future challenges. The more you practice reframing, the easier it becomes to transform fear into motivation. The mind cannot focus on two conflicting thoughts at once, and this is a powerful principle you can use to overcome fear and anxiety. When you're feeling anxious, your mind tends to get overwhelmed with negative thoughts, creating a mental loop of worry and stress. These thoughts feed into each other, escalating the feelings of fear and anxiety. However, by intentionally shifting your focus, you can break this cycle and regain control over your mental state. One of the most effective ways to interrupt this loop is by consciously choosing to focus on something positive or empowering. Whether it's a memory that brings you joy, a vision of your future success, or a simple affirmation of your capabilities, focusing on positive thoughts creates a new direction for your mind. This shift not only helps you feel better, but also diminishes the intensity of the fear. For example, when you feel anxiety creeping in, you can redirect your attention to your breath, your posture, or the present moment. By anchoring your focus on something calming or uplifting, you push the fearful thoughts out of your mind. When you focus on gratitude, positive outcomes, or your past victories, the negative thoughts begin to lose their power. Over time, this practice becomes more natural, allowing you to replace anxiety with a sense of calm and confidence in any situation. The key is to recognize that you have the power to control your focus. You don't have to let fear take over. You can deliberately choose to focus on something that serves you instead of something that holds you back. Using gratitude and positive visualization can be powerful tools to replace fear with empowerment. When fear takes hold, it often focuses on the negative, the worst-case scenarios, the potential for failure, the uncertainty of the future. This negative mindset keeps you trapped in a cycle of anxiety, but gratitude and positive visualization offer a different pathway. They shift your focus from fear of the unknown to confidence in your abilities and the positive aspects of your life. Gratitude has an immediate effect on your emotional state. It is virtually impossible to feel anxious or fearful when you are fully immersed in feelings of appreciation. Taking a moment to focus on the things you are grateful for, whether it's your health, relationships, or past achievements, helps to reframe your mindset. Gratitude pulls you out of a state of lack and places you in a mindset of abundance. It reminds you of all the things that are already going well in your life, which can drastically reduce the power fear holds over you. Positive visualization works hand in hand with gratitude. By visualizing a successful outcome or imagining yourself overcoming the challenge you're facing, you mentally rehearse victory. This not only calms the mind, but builds a sense of confidence, reinforcing the belief that you are capable and resourceful. When you see yourself succeeding, it becomes easier to face fear head-on because you've already mentally prepared for a positive outcome. Together, Gratitude and positive visualization help break the grip of anxiety and replace it with a sense of empowerment, giving you the mental clarity to take action with confidence. The key to overcoming fear and anxiety lies in consistency. Just like any skill, the ability to manage and reduce anxiety is built through regular practice. The more consistently you engage in techniques that interrupt fear and shift your mindset, the more natural these responses become over time. Fear is a habitual reaction, and so is the ability to overcome it. Each time you consciously choose to shift your physical state, reframe your thoughts, or use gratitude and visualization, you are rewiring your brain to respond in a more empowered way. When you practice regularly, you begin to create new neural pathways in your brain. These pathways strengthen the connection between your body, mind, and emotions, allowing you to react to stressful situations with greater control and less anxiety. At first, it may feel like you're forcing these changes, but over time, your nervous system adapts and your ability to manage fear becomes automatic. Incorporating these techniques into your daily routine is key. Whether it's starting your day with deep breathing exercises, using visualization before a challenging situation, or reminding yourself of what you're grateful for, these small but powerful habits add up. As you make them part of your life, they gradually shift how your brain responds to fear. Consistency helps you build resilience so you can face uncertainty and challenges with more confidence, no longer allowing fear to dictate your actions. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to approach life's challenges with a calm, empowered mindset. Remember, you are not defined by your fears or anxieties. They are simply emotions, signals that you have the power to control and transform. By consistently practicing the techniques of shifting your physical state, reframing your thoughts, and focusing on gratitude and positive visualization, you will break free from the grip of fear. You hold the key to your own empowerment. The more you take action, the stronger you become. The fear that once held you back will no longer dictate your life. You have the strength, the resilience, and the ability to face any challenge with confidence. This is your life, and it's time to step into your power. Fear has no hold on you. You are unstoppable.